Hey, hope you're doing well. So last week I was coaching all week in Los Angeles, and I did two-day groups with doubles players. And one theme for me in my doubles coaching is coming up more and more and more and more. And it's such a critical principle to remember. So I want to give you a reminder about this. If you've been watching my content for a while, maybe you've heard this, but I'm telling you, this is one of the most critical things. So first of all, in doubles, let's say this is you, this is your partner. I want you to guesstimate in your head how big is your half of the court, meaning what you and your partner have to cover together, the entire thing. And like lesson one in this, this is not your side, my side. Please remove all such thoughts in your head. Please remove all such attitudes like, oh, that was their shot. This is my shot. Every shot is both of your shots, okay? You are a team. It is not them plus you. It is the two of you together that should be working as a unified team to cover your half of the court together. So you're both responsible for the whole thing. Okay, so get all your shot, my shot kind of things like out of your head. So with that in mind, the entire side of the court, your side and their side, guess how many square feet? Think in terms of your house or a condo or an apartment or something like that. Put a number in your head, square footage. It's 1,400 square feet, which is about the size of my house that I'm recording this video in. 1,400 square feet of square space square footage that you and your partner have to collaborate on to cover. So, a core principle in doubles is you cannot cover everything at the same time. And so, here's where this pops up. Practically speaking, when I would make a recommendation, let's say the ball is going from your partner, unfortunately, to this net player. So, when I make a recommendation to tennis players to cover this, because it's the easiest target when our opposing net player is getting the ball so that we block this center target, inevitably, that there's always a yeah, but what, oh man, everybody I play, and like Sally, like this one player especially, or Steve, oh man, I hit this sharp angle every time and it lands 2 inches from the line every single time. So first of all, no, that's not what actually happens. You need to start paying closer attention because Sally or Steve or whoever is not making that shot every time. They're missing some of them, so you need to pay attention and keep a tally in your head. But if you are this player right here, can you cover this target and this target at the same time effectively? Can you cover this target from that net player and this target at the same time? Well, you could kind of stand halfway in between, but now a good net player could hit either one, right? And still beat you either way. So if you're going to do your job in this situation, which by the way is to play defense when the ball is behind you and it's going to go to the other side of the court, your job is to play defense as the net player. And if you're going to do that job well, you're better off covering one of those targets and locking it down and forcing your opponent to try a tougher one than you are either covering the tougher one or trying to stand halfway in between and not doing either one super well. Okay? So, core idea here, you cannot cover the whole court. And so the question you should be asking yourself frequently is, which shot is easier? Which shot is easier to hit? And you should be blocking that one. Why should you be blocking that one? Because most points end how in tennis? All the way up to professional levels of play. Most points end with somebody making a mistake or an error. So if you set up in this situation by showing your opponent, I'm covering this, and you make them try this, they, across the span of an hour and a half match, will make more mistakes because it's a lower percentage shot. And whenever I tell a student, make sure you cover this, the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, well, what about that? Well, if you cover this, then what about this? What about this gigantic open chunk of court right in the center of the court? This is a terrible position to be in with you and your partner. So it's not about shutting everything down. It's not about covering every target. It's about intelligently covering the smartest target. You cannot cover both, so which one is better to cover? That is the way your mind should be operating. Not, oh, well, if I cover this, then, oh, well, but then I got to cover that too. No, you can't cover all of it. So good doubles players purposefully, consciously leave chunks of court open. Because they can't, like world-class doubles players, they can't cover the whole court either. So they are leaving court open on purpose. Specific targets they are leaving open on purpose. So it's not a question of how do we cover everything. It's a question of what should we leave open and how and when. That's what your mindset should be. That's the way that you should be thinking about your doubles play. What do I leave open? How and when and why? Not how do I try to cover everything? Because you can't. It's too much court. There's too much real estate to cover all at the same time. So this is just one specific, example of that. But another example, real quick, for you doubles players, is what about when we're in a situation where both of us are at the net? Well, what's the most vulnerable open chunk of real estate now in this situation? The most vulnerable open chunk of real estate now is back behind us. We're both in an offensive position, which means that there's a big chunk of defensive court that's available. So we should fully be expecting to get lobbed. That's just the most logical target. And yet the anticipation and the reactivity of like covering lobs makes it so tough by your average doubles player. So no matter how good you are at the net, when both of you get close, remember 1,400 square feet, you can't cover this and this at the same time. You can't. So this is where anticipation and understanding percentages and like what shot is easier and what shot is harder is incredibly important. It really, I mean, there's so many specific applications. I can't, it would take me hours and hours to go through all of them, but this is the principle. This is the idea. And I want you to just keep this in mind as you play your doubles, make your decisions, hopefully intelligently cover certain parts of the court and leave other parts exposed on purpose. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.